Bum, bum. Happy Halloween, guys. Welcome in to 2 Cent Reviews Live. This is Eric here. And yeah, I am feeling festive. So I did a little bit of changing in our opening segment there. But welcome in. Happy Halloween again. And this is 2 Cents. It's basically my review show. Quick, no fuss, fancy review of me sharing my 2 cents about two books that I found on New Comic Book Day Wednesday, actually yesterday. Could be an old one, could be a new one, whatever fancies me. But no, and it's a way for me to actually, it forces me to read some of my new books. It's basically take a look at what I was super excited to get that week. And a lot of times I find something in the bins that I'm excited for, and I just want to share my 2 cents on those books with you guys. So, but yeah, so I got two books today that I'm looking at, and when I look at these books, I'm looking at a couple things. So, just to summarize for you guys, I'm looking at the story really quick. Kind of did I get something out of the story? I'm looking at the art, of course, which is a main reason why I buy a lot of the books, especially with the cover. And then kind of like an overview, the full package. How did both art and story work together? Did I enjoy it, type of thing? And then I'm going to rate it. And I have three different simple ratings. I'm doing basically a 1-bit, 2-bit, 3-bit. And like I said, I'm not trying to influence you guys about buying these books, but it's just me sharing what I got out of it. So, what I want to do before we jump into it, let's say hello real quick to some of the chat because I do want to try something new here. I'm going to put this on, and hopefully that's not too bad because actually I wanted to do this too, being a Halloween. Hopefully you guys can still see that. I don't know. That's kind of makes it hard to see, doesn't it, guys? So I'm actually going to turn the little skeleton off, but I want to keep the little comment thing up there and say hello to some of our people jumping in. We got K Munin first again this week. What's up? Glad you can join me tonight. And then we got my buddy Rich, Big Nasty Comics, saying hello to everybody. And I think I saw Coach. Yep, there's Coach saying hello to everybody. And that's all I see right now. So I'm going to let the chat go and I'm going to just jump into it, guys. So the books I have today, now I got to post it up on my screen here so I won't forget it because I forgot it last week. But we're talking about a new one and an old one. So that way you guys are jumping in late. You can see what the heck we're talking about. But we are talking about the Absolute Batman annual that just came out this week. This is the first annual. And I found an oldie. I found Marvel Spotlight number 22. And this is with the Son of Satan in it. And I'll tell you right now, I love this cover. It's so cool. But we're going to start with Absolute Batman, you guys, and we're going to jump into our 2 cent review. Now, I did write some notes here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I want to make sure I get all my thoughts through about these. So Absolute Batman. Now, I stopped getting Absolute Batman back in issue 8. So I'm like, they're on 13 now. I'm only like 5 issues behind. And I basically figured I can catch up later, type of thing. There's so many books I had to cut some. But I figured this was a good jumping back in point. And because of the story, I wasn't wrong. So this book, what's cool is it has 3 shorter stories in it. I don't know. It's pretty chunky. This was how much was this book? This was a $6 book, which isn't too bad, but it's a little more than a regular book. So yeah, 3 stories in this, and as far as I can tell, they're pretty much they stand alone. They're not in continuity. Now, the first one, which is related to this cover here, is Daniel Warren Johnson story that I liked a lot. Is action packed. The second one was okay. I was a bit lost though, and I think it's because it kind of related to some of the continuity in the regular series, and that's okay, I guess. I mean, I still enjoyed it. It was okay. The third one was only 2 pages, and it was going on talking about like bats and how they are in nature, and they are kind of with the art and stuff relating it to Batman in this world. So I don't think it was very necessary for 2 pages. But like I said, I did like the first story. Now, let's jump into art because that's a big reason why I got this. Look at that cover, Daniel Warden Johnson. Now, I thought it was cool that all 3 stories were written and drawn. They did the artwork by, it was basically the writers, artists, they do it both type of thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. Now, they're very different in art style. As you know, you can see Daniel Warren Johnson, he's very unique in his style. Uh, and the second one, it had that similar beefy absolute Batman in it, but it was very different than Daniel Warren Johnson's. Like he has those heavy ink lines. It's very, it's a different kind of style. It reminded me of Sam Keith's artwork, like with Max and when he did Wolverine and stuff like that. He's a very chunky type of guy. Now the third one, like I said, the art was laid out cool, but I didn't really get a whole lot from it. It was nice to look at, but like I said, it was 2 pages. I think they could have cut it and been fine. But we'll get back to that a little bit. Now, Daniel Warren Johnson, the first one was my favorite. I'm used to him drawing robots because he was doing Transformers recently. And I forgot that he can do, people actually. And, with that heavy ink lines, it has that kinetic energy. Very similar to like, if you guys haven't checked out Off the Top Ropes that he did, get the trade because you don't have to track down all the issues. Get the trade. It's a very fun read about wrestling. You imagine that. It is very entertaining though. And one of the things I wanted to do is I actually wanted to show off some of the art of this real quick, you guys. So I tabbed some of these. So if look at that art, that's kind of cool, right? I think I saw that in when they're advertising this. And then when I was reading it, check this one out, guys. Wow, bam. That was just like he's breaking that dude's arm. Now this is all Daniel Warren Johnson right here. He really look at all that artwork, the lines and stuff. And then I'll show you real quick. This was, I thought, a cool page of the second story. You see how it's a little bit cleaner, but it's still stylized. I like all these guys with their creepy masks. Like I said, I was a little bit lost in that one. I think it's because it ties into the regular story. And then I'll show you real quick. Here's those 2 pages right here. So it was okay. It kind of has an anime feel to it, but let's go to the full package. So the full package of Absolute Batman Annual #1. I enjoyed most of this. It was a good jumping back in point without much of a commitment. I had fun with the first story. It was easy, fun read, and I think excellent on all 3. But I don't think those last 2 pages were needed. I think we could have cut them, made it $1 cheaper, something like that. I know it's money, whatever type of thing, but the other 2 were fine. Like I said, I did get lost in the second, but that's okay. Maybe that will make me want to go back and read what I have and eventually or get the other ones to kind of catch back up and see what's going on in the world. Rating on Absolute Batman. I'm going to give this one my middle rating, the 2 bits. It's fun bucks, guys. It's a lot of fun. I didn't need to know what was really going on because it's kind of just a quick, the first story is a quick adventure of him getting some weapons and stuff and get tied up in this white supremacist type of thing, and he just beats everybody down. Second one, like I said, I was a little lost, but it was still enjoyable because I liked the artwork. And then the third one, I've gone on enough about that one, but yeah, it was fun read. I loved the art, and I don't know if I'll jump in right away, but I probably will because it was enjoyable. So that's my 2 cents on Absolute Batman Annual #1, and I'm going to take a breath and take a drink and see what you guys have to say. If there's anything new to add, let's see. I see a couple people jumping in, so I want to say hello. I see Chanko jumped in. Welcome in, Chanko. And yeah, I know, Rich, you love DWJ. You got to meet him at Heroes, which was pretty cool. Let me take a sip, like I said. And we'll go on to our second book. So the second book, like I said, this is an old one. So I did do a little digging, and I paid a little bit more than I normally would for a back issue. This was like $10, which isn't too bad for an older issue. And this came out in 1975, so it's got some age on it. And it's this one, Marvel Spotlight number 22. I think I need one more issue in this run of the Son of Satan. I absolutely love this character. I think he's one of those 70s darker characters that I kind of find entertaining, like Ghost Rider in the 70s. And, you know, you can see on the cover all the different ones. So I love the 70s horror genre, these characters that they came up with. But this issue, the story, you're kind of thrown into what's going on, but you get basically that Damien Hellstorm. It's a Damien Hellstorm story. You know, he's in his subconscious battling against this gypsy woman, Madame Sabata. I'm probably not saying her name right, and this is something I guess that started in the previous issue. So I'll probably have to go back and reread that one just to see what the setup was. But yeah, he's in his mind in the astral plane battling it out. You know, she's throwing illusions at him and stuff like that. And she basically wants to split him from they call it his dark soul. So she has an easier time destroying that and him. So in the cover, you can see his dark soul and him battling, which does happen in the issue. You know, and yeah, like I said, she's throwing all these illusions at him, where he's fighting himself, his friends, his family, his colleagues. And you know, basically his sister here was kind of the tipping point for him. He's like, he wasn't having it. And, yeah, it was an interesting story. Now, art wise, this is what gets me. I got this because of the cover. Look at that cool cover. This is a cool Gil Kane cover. Sal Buscema did the artwork inside. And I'll show you some of the artwork as I'm talking about it. Let's see. So let's start with this big splash page here. So we have him, you know, unconscious. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Classic 70s art, you know. Some of it's a little bit trippy. Actually, my next example is. And I absolutely love this 2-page spread here. You see the villain over here on those rocks. And what I like about this is that, you know, most of this was basic layout of boxes, and some of the pages had a lot of dialogue on it. But I like seeing kind of this old school interpretation of demons and hell and stuff like that. I really like Sal's art. And then really a lot of what this is I love these old 70s ads. I thought these were pretty hilarious. But yeah, here you can see a lot of the boxes and the dialogue. But it didn't feel wordy because the art were kind of flowed with it. Let me see, what do I got here? Here's a cool page spread with his little chariot. But yeah, all the dialogue didn't really, the artwork didn't suffer from all the dialogue. I thought it went well together. Here's some more ads. This one made me laugh. So we got more Migos, and we got, Count Dante, deadliest man alive. I love these old ads. They're so funny. Oh, boy. And then, yeah, here's where Ghost Rider comes in. He's on that one page. And then I think the next page we got Satana, his sister, kind of, it's a little weird. It's like she was kind of flirting with him. I don't remember this about her or much of her interaction with Damien. But here's the last ad I want to show you guys. I love these old Spider-Man Hostess, Cupcake, Twinkie, whatever ads. So, it was a lot of fun overall with the artwork and stuff. Now, I think full package, although this is a continuing story from the previous issue, I enjoyed it a lot. I think the way that the story and the monologue is told in this, the art uh, is a lot of fun. It's kind of a nostalgic visit of a time that uh, just the way the characters were talking or the way they told the story, they just don't really do anymore. And I will admit, I got this because of the cover. I saw him fighting himself. I see Ghost Rider. I see Santana on. I was like, oh, cool. They got all these darker characters from the 70s, and I really like a lot of them. Now, like I said, I showed you guys Ghost Rider's on one page. Santana, I think she's in maybe 2, 3 pages. That's it. For the most part, it's just him battling this gypsy witch woman and, battling himself. But I mean, it does have this overall story of, at the end, he's talking about how everybody has this uh, demon within themselves that they're battling. And it's kind of this self acceptance, which he kind of at the end learns that he needs that dark side with his light side to kind of really have his power and battle the evil. Um, Now, ratings on this one, I'm going middle of the road again on this one. This one's the two bits fun bucks. Again, it was an awesome cover, and I love the 70s darker side story. With these darker characters. I don't really think they had a term for the like almost Midnight Suns, you could call them, back in the day. They didn't really call them that. They just had a lot of these kind of darker characters. And I enjoy their stories. Like I said, it's a lot of fun to see how they kind of approach that theme in the comics. They're superheroes, but still it's kind of like supposed to be a horror comic. So it was a lot of fun. But that is my 2 cents on Marvel Spotlight number 22. You guys may want to check this one out. It's an older comic that you can find. But that's all I got for you guys today for this episode of 2 Cents Reviews. We had Absolute Batman Annual number 1 that just came out this week that may get me to go back into the series, and a classic 70s Marvel Spotlight featuring the Son of Satan. Like I said, a little bit of Ghost Rider, a little bit of Satana, but it's all good. I'm happy with both purchases, and reading them was a lot of fun. So let me check real quick. I am actually doing really good for time, guys. I try to shoot for 20 minutes, but I wanted to check in with you guys and see. So Kate Munin likes the chick on the cover. She looks interesting. Yes, she sure does. And then like I said, I thought it was a little weird. She was flirting with basically her brother. Damien is her brother because both their dads are Satan. So, oh, I missed Bigby jumped in. What's going on? And then let's see. K Munin said, to think back then they made mini comics for advertising better than what they are doing nowadays. Yes, I miss those kind of old ads that they used to put in these comics. But yeah, thanks guys for joining me. We are actually under 20 minutes, just like that. So I'm going to switch to some of my banners. And if you guys could, please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and let me know down below if you're catching this after live, what you guys thought of Marvel Spotlight and Absolute Batman. Have you gotten them? Have you read them? What do you guys think? Weigh in your 2 cents on these two comics tonight. And as always, check me out over on Instagram. You can see some of the stuff I'm posting over there. It's been a busy month posting scary, spooky covers for Halloween, but I appreciate that. And guys, that's all I got for you tonight. So happy Halloween again. And while you're out there hunting, happy questing. And we will talk to you next time, guys. See you later.